We have a pretty big learning gap, and we have to figure out innovative ways to kind of close that gap. And one issue that we experience is that students need a lot of supplemental learning when it comes to grammar, punctuation, mechanics, and the learning curve assignments help that. A learning curve takes away the stress of having to teach so many concepts in one period. The instructors have seen a decrease in their workload because they don't have to worry about the grading or the questions. And the students have even said that, it feels like a game to them. So they enjoy it. It's very interactive. And again, it helps meet certain student learning outcomes.
And one of the best aspects of Achieve in the questions is if a student misses it, they give almost 5 or 6 sentences why you gave the incorrect choice. So especially before major exams, I reopen Achieve for study purposes so they can practice those questions, because those questions are similar to the questions that will appear on the test. So they really like that. They know that they can get to that threshold. Let's say it's 400 points. So even if they miss a few questions, they don't get, kind of depressed. They know that they can eventually get that 400, and then voila, you get 100 in the grade book, and they love to see 100s in that grade book when they open it up.
It's kind of like a quizzing platform, but I took it to be a way for me to upload slides that I use in my classroom, and they use that as the thing to study from, their study tool. And what that does is I can have the question slide, I can have my answer slide that kind of explains the answer. And so it's all in one place for them.
One textbook that I use is the Reflect and Relate. As a communication professor, we would love to be able to send them out and find all these issues and conflicts, like an organizational problem, and see it front to back, but we hardly ever see that. We see like a slice of it. We hear somebody talk about a problem. We don't see it actually go on. That book uses a particular type of case study where, they're given a problem, and then you're given kind of the task of figuring out like, okay, how does this apply to this week? What kind of problems are there and how might you tackle them? Even though it's simulated, it's an opportunity for them to think about each of the things that led up to that problem. How did it happen? What could you do differently? Which isn't something we always get to do as people. I mean, that's where they get to actually say, you know what, I'm gonna walk out of this class and feel more confident with issues like this. That to me was really nicely designed from front to back.
A lot of the students that I work with have had very bumpy rides when it comes to their academics. And when they get questions right, and they're told in that moment that they've gotten the question right, so it allows for them to then teach other students, and then they learn it better because they're engaging with other students. Either way you look at it, it helps them to be able to engage with the class and develop some of those soft skills that are also essential for being successful long-term professionally.
I don't want them just to memorize a bunch of names and dates. Whether they realize it or not, as they're doing the Achieve, that kind of fills in between. And it does so in a positive way because they're not stressed the whole time. They're like, oh, I didn't get that one right. Well, that's okay. What is the right answer? I can go to this, or okay, I'll get this next one right, and it starts to adjust to them.
We are using Achieve in a flipped classroom environment. Now, for the pre-class assessment, we were looking for questions which are very basic and conceptual and tie directly to the reading. And these are questions that you don't often see in textbooks. So the ability to bring our own questions and to code them on Achieve was an extremely useful feature.